Alrighty, so hey all, for anybody who's having a look at this video, um, what I decided to do is through, throughout my automation career, I guess you can say, I've built a lot of frameworks using different tools, and so I thought I'd um, get some of those frameworks that I built and just put something together. Um, there's just I guess, a high level, 30,000 foot level comparison other frameworks like Selenium Java, Selenium Python, and Tosca. Tosca seems to come up in a lot of conversations, and I've done a lot of work with Tosca as well. So I thought it'd be kind of cool, kind of neat to do a video showing a comparison. Maybe show some subtle differences. Well, not subtle differences. Tosca's totally different way, different approach to the automation. It's all modular based, drag and drop. It's pretty slick. You can keep everything within folders, modules. So it's a pretty slick and easy tool to use. It's like any tool. You have to know their syntax and how they're putting things together and how their approach to automation. But once you get the hang of it, it's pretty slick, and it becomes fairly easy to use. But I'll show a little bit about the test case I built in Tosca, and how it looks and how it compares to the Selenium Python. Sorry, Java and Python. So this is the Java using Eclipse, and you can see right away how the busyness between the two. Like here's my code. What am I doing here? I'm creating a purchase order in here. Um, I'm not knocking any of the tools. Like, all the tools have their place. They're really strong and easy to use. Once you get in there and start using it and start building out your test cases, I'm definitely not knocking any of them. I enjoy using all three of them. Um, they definitely have their place. It depends on the project you're working on, and the company you're working for, and so forth, and your budget and your requirements, and all those things you have to take into account when you start looking at automation tools and you start doing building an automation strategy. But but yeah, so I'm not getting into the weeds of that. I'm just doing a comparison of the three tools, so you can get a good visual idea of how the test cases can be put together, and how they look when they're put together, what the results look like, and the execution. So yeah, as mentioned before, like, you can see how busy Selenium Java is, but if you understand Selenium Java and the different methods and the calls being done, you can follow it fairly easy. Um, Tosca is, like I mentioned, all modular based, and everything's driven with test steps in here, and you use your modules, and you just drag and drop your modules into your test case that creates the test steps, which I'll show in a sec here, a quick example of that, and that starts building out your steps that you want to use in your testing for the test case. For instance, you got the logging piece here, open Salesforce, and you can drop in your parameters in here. There's going to be the login page, and then you put in your login credentials and so forth. Yeah, you go and jump to module, you go into here, and there's the login module that I scanned on Salesforce, which you want to get a representation of that, you can see it in here. Let me just log out of here, go to here, and there it is there. So that was scanned in my Tosca into here. So this is kind of like their page object model, so to speak. Gather up all the web elements that are being used on the page that you want to use in the test case, as opposed to like Selenium Java here, where you go into the page object model in here, and where did I put it? And here, and then there's the page objects, and go into the login page here. Totally different approach, but same idea. You capture the web elements that you want to use, and then you create some web methods. How do you want to access those? And then you can build up the test case, and then you access those methods within the test case. I go back into the test case here. Say, for instance, that create purchase order in here. So just different look, different approach to it. Same idea. Automation is the same idea. You want to automate a manual test case, manual actions, and run them against the application under test. And go into Python. Python's the same idea. Python and Java, the object-oriented. Same idea in here. I go back into the test case here. For instance, like a search, doing a search for a product. I'm using the demo web shop here for Java and Python. And same idea, just a different syntax. This same with automation. The automation has the same feel to it. Building out the framework, you just gotta understand the syntax that the tools are using, like Python and Java and Tosca. Understand the syntax and how put together the test steps to drive the testing on the application. This is the one of difference searching for a product. But same idea of the framework here as in this Java, Selenium Java. I got my element actions here, so I got a few actions in here that are driving the testing onto the application. Finding an element by the element name and the text. Like for instance, this is a text box. So if we're login, you'd search for the password and the username to do a login. And if I go back into I have a login here. For instance, here's the user login. Let's follow that. Jump to source, and that's in my user flow steps. So that's kind of an abstraction. I'm anything that's common, logging in or searching for a product, something that's going to be done over and over again. You can create a reusable class method in here, user login, and just call that in your test cases, and it's reused over and over again. Reusability is good in automation. Helps with maintenance and maintainability. So yeah, I definitely use that. I think all I'm doing is this one is just logging in. I think it's just a quick login test in here. I was just testing out some debugging here and some logging in here. Yeah, it's in same idea in Selenium Java. Let me go to my login here. Back up here, and you see here I created some login methods here. Here's my login. Just follow that, and here it is here. Again, for reusability. Here's my element actions. This I'm typing, doing a wait, so I'm typing the username and the password text boxes, and then clicking on the login button. Same idea in Python and Java. Tosca, kind of the same idea. It's modular based, like I mentioned here. Here's the login module with the web elements in here, and like I mentioned, you just take this and you just drag it into the test case. This is the test case up here. If I drop it, you can see it just drops into one of the test steps, and then I can put in the values for username and here is, I got this as a test configuration parameter, and just drop it in here. And then if I do a right mouse click on it, we'll translate value, and it should show the username there. There it is there. So yeah, and that's the gist of using it within Tosca. It's just drag and drop. It's pretty easy to use, and that's the idea behind Tosca, is that they're trying to get away from the developer perspective, and anybody in QA and the business can use it. Like I mentioned, it's just you have to understand some of the syntax in it, just like any other tool. Excel, you have to understand some of the syntax, when you build up macros. It's the same idea with Tosca or like Selenium Java and Selenium Python. Um, so yeah, so you don't have to keep on going out there to find developers. You can build this within the QA team, and the business can even use this if they needed to. And then you can export. They call them subsets. Export a subset, and then email it to someone else, and they can load it in their Tosca. But if you have a shared environment, a shared repo, where you have a shared repo on a server, and then this project can be shared. This project space can be shared among the other team members. I'm not going to get into that now, but that's possible. And so it makes it pretty slick to use it that way as well. And it can be used in CI/CD as well too, Azure as well, and Jenkins. You can create a batch file and run it that way. The same idea, of course, with Java Selenium. You can use it in CI/CD, using testng, using the POM file. You can create batch files in here as well. I'm not going to get too heavily into that. Not right now, maybe another video. But for Tosca, so this one here that I built this test case here, and you can see here I got to do precondition, process, postcondition. This is kind of their standard that they like using. Tricentis, they like using precondition, process, postcondition. Precondition is just setting up your test environment. It's something you need to set up. And usually, right now, all I'm doing here is I'm just setting up some of the buffers, deleting any buffers that are could be got some values in them. So set up, delete it, and set the buffer. Then I set the buffer here. This XL, this is for the data testing, which I'll show you here. And Tosca's approach to data-driven testing is all built within the tool. It's pretty slick that way, as opposed to Selenium Java, where you got to bring in your data providers, Selenium Java, and you got to build out the get back into my test here. Like creating a purchase order. So you get your data provider here, and then you got to build out your. Sorry, it's going to go my utility file here. Excel library in here. So this is all my functions, methods for running against Excel to get the data out of Excel. So it's a lot more work to put in data-driven testing. But once it's built, just like the framework, once it's built, then it's easy to use. You just have to maintain it and modify it and so forth, and just have it grow with the application and the environment you're testing within. Same idea with Tosca. Your automation grows with your environment, with your team. You keep letting it grow, and that's where the tool strength comes in handy, and keeping it maintainable and reusable. But yeah, so we'll go back in the test case. So here, so Selenium Java using the data provider, and then it just loops, of course, depending on how many records you got in there. I think I got 2 records in here. This is the data here I'm using. I'm using the purchase product. So I got 2 rows of data that I'm pulling in. You can see a lot of it here. And then, of course, I just use it in my test case. I'll do a run here in a sec. And then with Python, um, same idea. But they actually use a for loop here, and you bring in your Excel spreadsheet and pull out your data that you're using, and then of course then you can manipulate it and use that data in your testing. So very similar. It's a very similar approach. There's probably other ways to do it. This is the way I'm using it right now. And then Tosca, the way Tosca's approach is, so this is the test case design. So this is your data sheet. Your data sheet's already built in here. So this is all the data I'm using right here, and I have two test cases right here. In Tosca's world, an instance is a test case in here, and these are my two. If you want to have another test case, you just go into here and you can put in another TC3, and that's your test case in there. And it pops up there, and then you can just go in here and populate it with the data that you have right here. So it's pretty slick in the way that they do their approach. I'll just remove it for now. You can put a lot of your random generator text in here, numbers, so forth in here to help create some unique data. Here's your date manipulation here. They create some unique dates. So that can all be done within the test case design. It's pretty slick. And so with that, then, as I mentioned in here, so I did this. I abstracted the fields that I was going to use in the test and just put them as all buffers, and then I just dragged and dropped. So it's pretty easy how you can do it. You just grab say account name, just drag it over the test case, and you just drop it on. I won't drop it right now, but you just drop it on the buffer, the field name, the value you want to use in here. I'm going to hit escape. So it's pretty slick that way. You just drag and drop, and that's what I did here. Drag and drop, and that's what this all Excel is. Means you're using the test case design data in there. And so in that, so under the process folder, this is where the steps happen, the execution, well, not the execution, but the actual test steps are used. And you can see here, you can name these anything you want. That's kind of like your test step plus your comments. And like in Python, you can obviously put in the comments on top, but you can make your actions here user specific to what you're doing, or the user action specific to what it's doing, like click log on link, for example, set username, set password. That's a little bit different approach. As I mentioned, you drag and drop the module in here, and then you just name it, tell it what it's doing. Select accounts from tab bar. So here's the accounts, and then you put in the accounts is the tab you're going to be selecting. So if I'll go back into the Salesforce, let me just log back in here. And there's the accounts there. So that's the tab that it's clicking on like that. And it just goes down the whole process here, all the different test steps. Account list, new account. So that's back into here. This is the account list here, and then you click on the new account. This is all scanned in using the scanning tool. Let me just go back into jump the module. What I can do is, let me just do a quick, I got to do like a rescan here. So this is all done automatically, as opposed to Selenium Java and oops, I don't want that. Let me just close this. Sorry. Like with Selenium Python and Selenium Java, of course, you have to do it all by hand, so to speak, when you build out your page objects. like for the account creation page. You have to just put them all in, but once you have it built, it's built. You just have to do some modifications, XPath, name, ID, whatever you're using to find your elements on the page, and then put in your web methods. Um, Here, you can just do a scan here. Let me just do a rescan. Oh, that's interesting. Why is it not doing that for me right now? Okay, hold on here. Oh, okay. My bad. Let me copy this. I got this in the wrong browser. Let me just put it in Chrome here. That's why I pulled up Chrome. Okay, let's just hop back in here. Okay, so now we'll do it. Yeah, this is why I have my extension. You need a tri-sentence automation extension. Let me just pin that in order for Tosca to communicate with the browser you're testing. Okay, we're here, and let's try that again. Rescan. Okay, so here it is here, and so you can see I rescanned the page. So if I go and let me just put this to the left, and then let's go highlight. See, it'll do the account list highlight there. And there's others in here, but down here, some of these are brought into play at runtime. So this account list, when I click on this, then this becomes true. The visible becomes true, and then Tosca will recognize it. It's not being recognized right now because it's not visible. So, but if I go here, you can see calendar. You just click on the elements you want. There's one not being recognized, but very, very easy to pull in to the module, like that. And then you can go into here, and then what you can do is you can take a look at all the attributes that it has. This is basically the DOM broken out into nice values that you can easily see and recognize and manipulate. Like this forecast here, for instance, this is not unique. Might be another forecast link on the page somewhere, not sure, but but there's ways to make it unique. There's no ID associated with it. Let me just try a couple and see if we can make it unique. It doesn't look like I can make it unique. So there's a couple of ways you can make it unique. You can do identify by index. Yeah, there's two on there. So just do index, and that'll make it unique. So this is going to be the first one we're going to be selecting. Is up here, and then back in like the dashboards. Let's go back to identify by properties. So what you can do is you take the slider, move it right, and that'll show all the DOM, all the how the page is made up. It's pretty detailed if you want, and it'll help you find the attributes on the page and so forth. It's a pretty powerful tool to use, as opposed to something like here, Java or Python. You do the inspect tool, go into here, and then we can use that selectors hub extension. It's pretty slick. If you don't have it, go search for it and add it as an extension. But you can go in here, and it'll get the relative XPath for you fairly quickly. Just curious what that's going to be now. I'm just going to paste it in here. Paste it in. Yeah. So there's a very easy way to get the XPath using that selectors hub in there, or you can go and use the XPath builder in here, and you can start building out your XPath in here as well. But if I take that that relative XPath I just got, paste it in here, it should take me right to it, and it does. So that's pretty much the way to find elements within Chrome or any browser when you're doing Python or Java. It's good once you get in here and understand how to use it. It's becomes it's pretty slick how to use. But Tosca is pretty straightforward. Just use the scanning tool for everything, and it works great as well. But yeah, so let's just close this. I won't save it right now. But if I go back in, so if I did save it, then you just get everything in here like this. And then you just take that, again, like I mentioned before, take it and you just drag it into your test case, which is down here now, and then you can just fill in now. So if I want to click the accounts list and then the new account, you just put in clicks, and then it will click those items, which I'll show you right now. Let me just delete this. Another nice thing about Tosca that I like is you can run small fragments of your test case, like one test case, test step. So for instance, I want to just run the accounts, the test step to select an account tab. Just close this. I can do that in here. Run in Scratchbook, and there it selected it for me. Now if I wanted to, now I'll select this test step to open up a new account, and it should set the accounts list and then open up a new account. And there it goes. So yeah, it's pretty easy to use in that approach. What I like about Python and Java is the way that you can use these, the batch files or the testng POM files, and so forth, to create different tests that way, and then you take those and put them in Jenkins to run. So that helps organize your tests as well. Another thing that Tosca has is, so going back to that test case design, sorry I'm all over the place here, but I'm kind of freewheeling it. I'm just kind of let my mouse do the pointing, and then I talk to wherever my mouse lands, I guess. But so going back to that test case design that I was talking about and got pulled away from. So once I have all the data set up, what I need to do is I need to instantiate the data. And so you see that little T right now? So right now it's a template. So let me just add another test case here. So let's see if I can bring it up here. So here, and then let's go to test cases. So you see here, instantiate. So if I started building this out and I let's just drag this over. So you have to connect the test case with the test data with the test case. So you just got to drag it over. Sorry, I don't think I mentioned that, but that's very important. So you got to kind of drag it over, and whoopsie daisy. First, I got to convert it to a template. There we go. There's my T, and I can drag it over. There we go. There we go. Now I drag it over. So now, if I go to the properties, you can see now that sheet has now been linked to this test case. That test data has been linked to this test case. So now you see that instantiate. So I can instantiate this now, but I won't do that. That's what I can do right here. So once I instantiate it, so I click the instantiate button, this is what I get right here. So I'll get because I got two test cases, two instances in here full of data in here. Okay, sorry about that. I think I got a little cut off there. Okay, so as I was saying about the instantiating your test cases here, um, once you instantiate them using that instantiate button, you'll get the two test cases here, and those are the instances or test cases here. So all that data will be brought into two new test cases. So it just recreates the folders, precondition, process, post condition, and then any of the buffer data that you pulled in, it'll create that for you. So I'm going to set here, see how that's all data. So it's not an Excel parameter anymore, as it was in here. Here, it is now switched to, oops, go down here, to the actual data. So it brought over the data that this test case was using, and that's how Tosca manipulates the test data, and it's pretty slick. And then this can be brought into the execution. This is the execution list piece here, and sorry, the execution module, and then that's what you run. You can run put it here straight in, and there's your new execution list and your test cases, and you can name it whatever you want in here. So this becomes your regression test or something, what have you, like that. And then let's click, and I won't run it now. We'll just hold off on that in a sec. So yeah, as opposed to what I was getting at with Python and Java, and how they run test data-driven testing in here. And the nice thing about it is, well, with Python, right, you have to go into here. Let's see here. Let's see what I got here. So this is my login TC. It's not the test data. Okay. Let me just go into where did I put my execution? Oh, here we go. And yeah, there we go. Let me just grab this one here, drop it in here, and let's run that. So I should be just doing a quick login test. Yeah, as I mentioned, if automation is cool to build, but boring to watch. So you can fast forward this. Okay, so this one's done, and so here's the. Oops, it's done. Yeah, there we go. Let's click on the. Oops. Yeah, there's the web report, and my logging, of course, what it did. But that's the way the test case runs the test case data-driven tests in here. Java, very similar. As I mentioned, yeah, you can put together a batch file. Let me just open this up. Yeah, what do I have in it? Yeah, it's just going to look for the regression tags. So each test case, similar to Java, will have a tag on it. Annotation, smoke, or let's see what I got here. Here's regression and smoke. What I got for this one here. Just regression. So yeah, so you can just run this, let's go into, where's my Explorer? And let's just run this. So it's going to run all the all the regression tests that I have tagged in my test case folder there. Again, you can fast forward this if you want to click through this quickly. Oh, this looks like some screenshot errors. All right, and that's it for that. And same idea, you get a report built as well. Oops. Oh yeah, there it goes. You can't manipulate it from here, but should be able to get it from here. Just double check here. Yeah, this is the regression one. There's my regression report. Let's just open it. Browser. Oops. And there's our two test cases, and of course the logging. And I counted the number of checkboxes on the page, and then selected each one. Yeah, so Tosca is a little bit easier to work with when you're building out your test data. The nice thing about Python and Java, it's very similar. You use an Excel spreadsheet, you just pass it between each other. It makes it transportable, reusable that way. If using an Excel spreadsheet, Tosca, if you're moving your test cases from Selenium or Java or Python to Tosca, then you have to totally do a redesign. There is ways to import the Excel spreadsheets. There's some stuff on the website on how to do that. Tricentis website, how to import your Excel spreadsheets data into test case design here, but you have to have the spreadsheets formatted like in the Tosca design, test case design, for it to work. So it's a little bit of work if you're moving from Java or Python to Tosca. That's something to take into consideration if you want to move tools. So a little bit of upfront work there. So to execute this though, so this is the execution list, and I'll just do a run in here. Oops, I think I might have to. Let me just close this down. There we go. Oh, there it is there. Oh, same thing. If you want to just fast forward this, by all means do it. So all this one is doing is just creating a new account. We'll see how far we get. Okay, that one failed. That's all right. We'll take a look and see what that is. Let's see what happens the next one. I might have moved something around while I was poking around in there. Might have saved something inadvertently. Well, we'll see. But this one's working. It's going through, which is good. I'm not sure why right now that one takes a little bit of extra time to select that list item. Right, because it's traversing the items, trying to find the right one. But not sure. Okay, creating a new opportunity. I think it's going to put in a new event of some type to the opportunity. Okay, it's editing the account here, and then I think it might be deleting it soon. Yep, just get rid of it. Yeah, it's checking for the verification. That got deleted, the message. And it's going to check that it's no longer in the system. All right, yeah, I got some fails. So I did some, so I got some soft fails there. Yeah, she'll do the X. So after the execution is done, it keeps the folder structure, so it makes it very easy to read. The little check boxes. Here's the X for the failure. We can just do a quick look and see what's going on in there. Oh, new account. Oh, maybe that's something I changed when I was messing around in there. Could have been. Nice thing about it is that oh, these X's. Sorry, this is not using the mouse. Where if you use a click, then you're going to use the UI of the mouse, right? You're going to see the mouse go across the screen. It slows it down a little bit. The test case. Um, this when you use an X, it's just using the X to click it, like the enter button. As long as the button is visible and focused, it'll just um, X the button or use the enter key to click the button. A little faster using X's. Um, but yeah, we can. Let's just. If you notice here, very easy to follow the errors too. Just right mouse click, jump the test step value where the error happened in there. And what I can do is, just to bring it up, I can just quickly load up the application and log into it. It makes it very slick when you want to do some debugging. And then let's just run these two together. Let's just see. It might have been a timing issue. I'm going to have to put a explicit wait or implicit wait. Let's see what it does. Yeah, looks like it might have been a timing issue. Okay, that's an easy fix. Get back in here. We can put in here is you could put a wait. You can do is like this, and then let's see. Up to here. Oh, sorry. I'll go into the main test case before I do that. Here, and then let's see. So let's just go here, tbox weight. Put some like. Right now, I'm just using weight. It's typically not good in any automation to use hard-coded weights, like I got here. You can avoid those. Use implicit weights, something that's more tied to the control that pops up on the page, which Python and Selenium Java have. We can do, I think I used it in a couple of places, but yeah, I obviously see I got some sleeps in here, and I can switch those over to implicit weights. Same here. You can put in a weight for the control, the element. And then oops, sorry about that. Let me just go to here. Sorry, lost my track there. And then once you get the weight set up, okay, yeah, got cut off again. So once the weight is set up, then yeah, you just drag it to where you want it to go. In this case, maybe I'll put it in here. Just to keep on just doing a little bit of a drag. I'll just put it right there. Might have been just needed a little weight there. Not sure. But what you can do as well is now talking about tying the weight to a control, so we can do that. Yeah, I can show you how to do that. Okay, and then let's just get rid of this. And what we do is like visible or exists, maybe visible equals true, and changes to verify. Okay, so now this will wait. I think defaults is like 30 seconds. It's not going to wait 30 seconds. It's going to wait till this control is visible. It could be 5 seconds, 6 seconds, then it'll pop out, and then go to click on the new accounts list. Run this step here. So we can put something like this here. Wait for control. So it's a similar idea that Python and Selenium have. Do I have an example of it? I'm not sure. We can tie the implicit weight to the control as well. So I think I do have an example of it. I just can't pull it up right now. I don't know where I have it in. Which one? This one, my page objects. Let's see what I got in here. It's the login page. There's an implicit weight there. I think this is out of date. I think there's been an upgrade to the implicit weight. Might have been, yeah, might be. Anyways, but yeah, so you can do that between Python, Java, and even Tosca. Want to see a report? You can go into here. Is it up here? Let's see here. Quick report. Let's go with issues and see what that looks like. Do that. Okay, start. Sure. Drop it in. Let's put it on my desktop for now. And there it is. And so this is the report you can get here. A lot of PDF reports. So obviously we had 2 fail. There's ways to create customized reporting in here, which I'm not going to go into, but there's ways to do that. But there's 4 reports you can pull out right now. I'm not too sure what this one is. Let's take a look. Let's just change this to 1. So, and yeah, okay, it just shows some regression tests that were and that they failed. Okay. Um, I'll just go into some of the test steps here, showing some of the can be done. You can see here I can use parameters, buffers, for some of the elements. And for instance, this is checking the static page on a text. Checking the static text on a page. So the inner text. I can use the account name. So what I'm doing is, in this case, I'm just looking for the account name on that page. For instance, go here like this, and there's the account name there. So that makes it really flexible and dynamic by just having the account name as part of the value for the inner text attribute. You can do if statements and while statements in here as well. I don't think I have those in this one. So there's ways to do that. Tosca's best practice, though, Tricentis's best practice is they try to avoid using while statements and loops. They just kind of have the test case straightforward, but it can be done. There's always conditions and circumstances where while loops need to be done. But in general, it is good to keep that at a minimum for test case wise, because you want your test case to be as quick and clean as possible, and not very heavy, so to speak. Maintainable, reusable, of course. What else I got in here? Let's see. Just put a sleep in there, deleting the message. Yeah, I don't think I have. I don't think I put any if statements in here. Some verification. Yeah. You can manipulate tables really well. It builds out a whole table set for you. Some pre-built in Salesforce. There's some pre-built tables that can be used, and you can search for items via row or column within the table. Selenium Python and Java. I don't have a table example in here, but it gets a little bit more involved. Obviously, you have to find the table, inspect for it, find it, build your XPath, manipulate it with some web elements. Gets a little bit more involved, but the nice thing about the online community, there's lots of different pieces of code you can pull down and use, and then manipulate it to your own use. Did that for my data table here, reading data tables. Lots of information on the web, pulling it down and manipulating it for what you want to use it for, customize it, so to speak. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. What I also wanted to talk about quickly was in the interest of keeping your framework reusable and maintainable. This reconfig methods I have here. What I'm doing here is so I'm using like an INI file, or it can be a data file, and I'm putting in like titles, even XPaths of the elements on the page. Some password usernames you can use as well. This could be in the Excel data file, but you can have it in here as well too. But what I'm doing here is if there's something that's going to change on the application that you're testing, you can come here and change it. If the title changes subtly, goes to books, you can come here and change it, and then it's a lot easier to change in one spot rather than going through 10 test cases and so forth to change it. So it helps make the framework a little bit more versatile, maintainable, reusable. It's very similar in Selenium Java as well too. I have something very else similar. I didn't have it as built up as I do in Python, but same general idea. You can do the same thing here, and you just create a class to read, and some methods underneath it to grab the data and then use it in your test cases. So I just wanted to bring that up because it was sitting there in my test cases, and I forgot to talk about it. Um, yeah, I think I'll stop there. It's my connection's a little bit choppy. Talking about it's I don't want to get well. I think I've been talking about it for an hour, but maybe I'll do another video of using Jenkins, or maybe I'm more involved with Tosca. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'll stop there. Thank you.